everybody, welcome back to the Craft Beer Hub. I've got another beer review for you, and it is of this, and this is a big boy, this beer. This is the Yakima Chief Hop City Beer, brewed with Northern Monk and US Brewers Dogfish Head. There you go, there's the can art. Very East Coast, looks like East Coast, well, probably, I don't know. I was going to say East Coast because I saw the American lighthouses and stuff. But yeah, very kind of dual coastal Yorkshire meets America kind of can wrap. This beer was very, very kindly given to me by Jimmy Rushworth. Jimmy Rushworth 92 if you watch the lives. Jimmy's mostly in, he's in most of the time. Jimmy gave me this beer a little while ago. It's just in date actually, this beer, so I'm glad I've caught it now. Jimmy gave this, do you remember, if anyone remembers Crummy, if you follow me, you might follow the Crummy Beard. If anyone remembers the Crummy Beards video in the summer when we were at the Edwardstone White Horse camping together, it was them. Jimmy came down to see us. I've been very critical of Northern Monk for a long time. Oh, of course it's dark. But having said that, I've only really had the supermarket offerings. So I've kind of stopped buying the Northern Monk stuff from Bottle Shop because their quality's just dropped off a cliff at a base level, and I do wonder if you're buying kind of subpar beer at £4, £3.50, £4 a can, you kind of you don't really want to go and then pay a little bit more money. This is described as a West Coast double IPA. Percentage wise, I think it was like 8.9. There we go, and it is dark. It almost looks like a best bitter. It's got amber ale vibes. It's hazy. Very little carbonation going on with a one finger slightly off white head. It looks like quite an aggressive beer, this one. Let's get our noses in. Yeah, piney, woody almost. It's got a lovely bit of sweet grapefruit, sweet orange, like candied orange. Bit of lemon. It smells good. The last double West Coast IPA I had, and I have to say I did not enjoy it, was from Oregon Trail. From Elusive. They done their double Oregon Trail. No, that was a triple Oregon Trail. Did I have their double as well? Scrub that. It was their triple Oregon Trail. I haven't had a double West Coast IPA for a long time, but I didn't really enjoy the triple West Coast. It was just too aggressive, and this is only 1% below it. But that smells really playful. And really, really good. Bit of caramel in there as well behind those flavours, those fruity flavours. It smells quite good. It's lovely. It kind of smells like pineapple, but it's almost like sweet, like a sweet, really sweet pineapple as well in there. It smells bloody good. Let's go in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Jimmy, as well. Thanks, mate. Wow, that's really, really good. We'll go into it a bit in a minute. But, oh, it's really sweet. Really, really sweet. But it's blooming lovely. I think we'll go into the flavours a little bit. It is an aggressive beer. It's 8.9%. It does have a lot of those kind of really punchy, slightly bitter fruit flavours in it. A bit of grapefruit, bit of orange. But there is kind of quite a playful sweetness that runs most of the way through this beer. And it turns very sweet at the end. And it kind of just takes the weight out. Well, so when we talk about aggressive start, we are talking about grapefruit, but more bitter grapefruit rather than sweet candied grapefruit. That is in there, and same with the orange as well. Bit of blood orange in there as well. A bit more like real bitter orange. There's a lovely kind of toffee caramel as well that's kind of in there underneath those flavours like it was in the aroma. And I think that's what really starts to come through at the end of this beer with the sweetness. It's not as bitter as I like my West Coast because that sweetness does kind of block a lot of that off. But I think if we're just talking about this beer and this beer only, it works because those flavours at the start are quite punchy. They are quite aggressive. It is quite piney as well. But it's just talking about this beer alone, that sweetness does break that down. And that's one of the things that I had the issue with when we talk about the triple IPA from Elusive with Oregon Trail. It just felt like it was made to be aggressive. And I know West Coast beers are slightly more aggressive than the East Coast, for instance, but it was just too aggressive. I just didn't... I love an Oregon Trail, the standard version, that can right there. I love it. It's one of my favourite beers from the UK. Because it's got loads of quality, whereas this has got loads of quality, but it kind of like puts a little playful bit in the back, and it kind of acknowledges the fact that you've got to drink a whole can, if you know what I mean. I had a sample in this very glass from London Craft Beer Festival. I had a sample in here, and I couldn't even get through the sample of the triple IPA. It was just too much. Whereas this is absolutely lovely. It's balanced, and it's. Is it really balanced though? I suppose it is because it's quite aggressive. It's actually, I'd say it's slightly more sweeter. But it's got nearly no carbonation, which suits the beer perfectly. The mouthfeel it's got medium mouthfeel. There's a bit of bite, but that caramel just suits the mouthfeel so much. It feels kind of luxurious for a West Coast, which is quite different. That is pretty decent. Let's read the can. One Up, One Down, it's called. The West Coast Double IPA. To celebrate Hop City 2023, we've brewed a huge hopped West Coast Double IPA in collaboration with US beer heroes Dogfish Head. We utilise some of their favourite hops to really pack a juicy hop hit. It was brewed at Northern Monk. Ingredients are water, malted barley, hops, dextrose, white sage, and yeast. Okay. Not picking up a whole lot of spice. There's maybe something at the back, but that just feels more like zesty. It's kind of giving me sort of zesty vibes. 8.9%. Really cool can wrap this. Yeah, that is very, very good. Really, really enjoyable. Probably the most kind of decadent West Coast I've had in a long time. Probably ever, with that sweetness and the caramel that runs through. But I think in the UK we might have slipped into this thing of East Coast are very fruity and very sweet and very lovely, and the West Coast is like, you know, the aggressive brother. But this actually proves it doesn't have to be. There's lots of lovely notes from both sides of that. There's a bit of sweetness from the caramel, kind of toffee flavours, and then you do have that kind of zesty orange, zesty grapefruit with a bit of pineapple in there and a bit of pine as well. I think it really works quite well, and the mouth feels cracking, and it's just a really good high quality beer. Yeah, that's pretty decent. How would I rate it then? I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. I think that's pretty blooming good. I don't know what it would have cost. It wouldn't have been cheap. Probably going to be flirting with the £7 price mark. But it is it's very good. It's a very enjoyable drinking experience. I haven't really been enjoying hoppy beers recently, if I'm being entirely honest. But this is probably an example of a good hoppy beer for me. I really quite like it. Yeah, there we go. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Have you had it? I think I'm a bit late to the party with this one. Jimmy did give it to me about 2 months ago, and it's been in my fridge ever since. But to be honest with you, I haven't recorded a whole lot of videos recently. We've had the horse box launch. If you haven't seen about that, go over to the Barrel and Bridle Instagram. There's been a lot going on, so I'm just catching up with all the beers that people are giving me. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.